I don't know about you, but I know when I had social anxiety, it literally can just put me down so much. And even just talking about it just kind of makes me remind myself of the time I went through social anxiety and how it affected my life. And I just want to tell you guys that if you guys do suffering from social anxiety, if you are one of those, that is alright. You know, we all been through it. I've been through it, and I personally have used my social anxiety to enhance my confidence. And that's what I'm here for today. I'm here to try to help you. I'm here to try to help you combat that social anxiety, because social anxiety, it can ruin lives. It can literally just bring you down. It can make your confidence never even show. But I want to kind of distinguish first. Social anxiety is way different than just regular anxiety. We all have anxiety. Every human being has it, okay? We get anxious when it comes to uncomfortable moments, but that's okay. That's pretty normal. And normal anxiety is okay. You know, we can easily deal with it because once we start talking, and it's just so much easier to get. But when it comes to social anxiety, it's a lot more harder. It's almost like a phobia develops in you, that you're afraid to talk to people, or you're afraid to put yourself out there because of the fear of embarrassing yourself, or just completely to avoid contact with other people. And boys, I'm here today because I want to help you guys. I want to give you guys tips that I personally use to help me battle and combat my social anxiety and use it to enhance my confidence. But before we get to that, I want to talk about kind of the warning signs, because again, those two things, and a lot of people can confuse regular anxiety with social anxiety. So I want to give you kind of like warning signs whether or not you guys do have social anxiety. So the first one is, if you are afraid of embarrassing yourself in public or talking and you just avoid contact overall, you, my friend, might have a sign of social anxiety. The second warning sign is if you keep thinking about that event prior to the date that's supposed to happen. And prior means not a week or two, but months and months before that event. You just let all that negativity consume your mind, and you just don't focus on the result. You don't focus on how to prepare. You're just worried about what's gonna happen. That, my friend, is a sign of social anxiety. Finally, the third sign, and probably one of the biggest one, is if your friends want to go out, you either say, no, I just don't feel like going out, or two, you know, I'll go out, but can I bring a friend? Or three, oh, okay, I'll go out, but then you start to stand in the back of the club pretending like you just don't want to be there, you just don't want no contact with nobody. Or four, you just get super drunk before you go. If you do any of those things, you, my friend, are suffering from social anxiety. But I'm here to tell you that it's okay. You're still wonderful, you're still amazing, and what you need to do is drop yourself a like down below right now, because you are awesome, and I'm going to help you use that social anxiety that you have and turn it into confidence just by using these 4 things that I have done personally myself. Because boys, I've been through it, and it's literally something that I hate people going through. I hate seeing it happen. I want to help you. I want to be there for you. I want to hold your hand through this process so you can have confidence just like I do, and live the life you want to live, and forget about social anxiety, because that right there should not exist. It should not be present in your life. It should be part of your past. So trust me, boys, let's get into it. The first thing I did to start combating my social anxiety was to challenge my negative thoughts. Yes, boys, one of the main reasons why we have social anxiety or a phobia of talking to people is because we build negative thoughts in our mind. Negative, super negative. I mean, like, some of these thoughts that I had was so horrible. I mean, I remember like literally telling myself, don't even approach her because you're not good enough. Like, what is that? Like, no, like, we should avoid that type of talk. This is why I tell you to talk to yourself positively every single day. You have to challenge that. Okay, when you see a negative thought start to approach, hit it with some positivity, right? Hit a jab, hit a right hook, whatever you got to do to combat that negative thought. Use it, and don't be afraid to combat that negative thought, right? One of the best things I think you could do is kind of question it. I don't know if I'm good enough, right? I don't know if I can do this. Ask yourself afterwards, well, what's the bad thing that can happen if I do this? I guarantee you there will be no response, because there is none, boys. There's nothing bad that can happen out of that result. Nothing bad can happen. The only bad thing that can happen is if you don't do it. That's pretty much it. That's one way to combat that part of social anxiety, that negative thought that's in your head. Challenge it, question it, because at the end of the day, you're going to beat it and you're going to become confident by using that social anxiety. And the second thing I did to combat it was follow me. Let's do it one more time. Didn't that just feel a whole lot better? If you did that with me, don't you feel a lot more relaxed? Don't you feel like all that tension that you were starting to build up for no reason just went away? That's what happens with social anxiety. We build so much tension, especially in our shoulders, and right here you start to like feel very nervous. But if you just relax and you just calm yourself down, you take a nice deep breath, it literally just goes away. And your tone, this is where it affects your tone too, the way you talk. Because some of us, when we get anxious and nervous, we start talking really fast and we start moving our hands, doing crazy things, right? We start going like that. But if you was to take a deep breath, it slows your tone down, it makes it more confident, and it also kind of already stalls in your mind. Like the first thing you want to do, let's say if you're giving a speech, is before you give the speech, just start practicing your breathing on the way to the podium, right? You know, right? And before you speak, take a nice deep breath. Doesn't matter if anybody's looking at you, just take a nice deep breath. And right when you're about to breathe, right when you're about to end that breathe, you start talking like this. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. You see how much confident you sound by doing that? It sounds like you have control of your presentation. You have control of what you're going to say, and people are going to listen to you more because they now think, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about, I'm going to pay attention. That right there is a perfect way to combat that social anxiety, because social anxiety tends to take away our breath, tends to make us very nervous and tense. So when you control your breathing, that helps you control your tone of your voice, helps you control the conversation, and right there, that's confidence 101. The third thing I did to combat my social anxiety was to face my fears head on. Yes, boys, I did that. I faced it head on. I literally looked it, I stared it in the eyes, and I said, you're not going to beat me. I'm going to beat you. I was Rocky. My fears was Apollo Creed, even though I think Apollo Creed won, so maybe that's a bad animal. But you get what I'm saying, right? I faced it. No matter if you lose or don't win, or win or lose, whatever it is, you have to learn to face your fears. Jump out of your comfort zone, boy. That is the only way we're going to combat social anxiety, is if you jump out of your comfort zone and you tackle your fear and you start to talk to people, you start becoming more active in that. Boys, it's literally just practice and practice and practice. That is the best way to combat your social anxiety, is by practice, you know, putting yourself out there. And it can be something small. It doesn't have to be a dramatic step. You gotta go away right away, talk to your crush. Like, no, doesn't have to be that. It can be small steps at a time. For me, the perfect thing that I did and you guys can use is when you go to a supermarket or a store or wherever it can be, talk to the cashier, you know, say hello, how are you today, everything good? Like a simple conversation, doesn't have to be super long, it could be 30 seconds, but start with that, something small, right? Start small and keep growing, and always enjoy those little victories in between, because that right there is just going to keep you going, keep you moving forward when it comes to your social anxiety. None of us loves to stay in one spot. We have to keep moving forward, okay? Because eventually you're going to be up here, you're going to have all the confidence you have to face whatever's in front of you and finally talk to that girl you've been looking for months, or your crush, whatever it may be. You're going to have the confidence to do it all, and that is going to be amazing for you. I literally can't wait for that to happen to you, but you need to implement these things right now. And the fourth tip, I personally did not do this, but I think it's a very good tip that I'm going to include, is if none of these work for you and you feel like your anxiety is super severe, it's okay to go get help. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm telling you right here personally, friend to friend, amigo to amigo, that is nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly fine, okay? That's why therapists are for. That's why people who work in those fields are for, to help you combat your social anxiety or any anxiety overall. They're there for you. So don't be afraid to schedule a call or make an appointment and, you know, deal with your problems, okay? I want you to deal with them. I want you to face your problems, because that's the only way you're going to be able to move on, all right? And if other people start judging you, bring it to my channel, because I'll let them know that I sent you to the therapist so you can become the man you're always meant to be. All right, boys? That is basically it. Those are the 4 things, well, 3 things I did, and the last one that you can do if you really need it. But I really hope you enjoyed this, and this can help you out, boys. Like, seriously, you guys are awesome, all right? You guys are super awesome. I really want you to follow these tips, because I want you to beat your social anxiety. I want you to use that to gain confidence, all right? Be confident in yourself, because you guys are super awesome. Gentlemen, that's it for me today. I'll see you next time. Peace.